Hello there, it's the Archivist from TradingCardArchives.com, and today I'm here for what should be a very interesting video. It's one of those videos that I have to kind of prepare myself for because the subject matter is a bit sensitive and it's not something that a lot of people talk about at all. And I like showing off these kind of products mostly because they are like a huge part of the industry, and ignoring them would be weird. Like it would be strange. So let me back myself into this because I just don't want to come right out with it. But part of the trading card world is waifu stuff, right? That just exists. Saying it doesn't exist would be like, I don't know, denying reality or something, right? Like at least half the cards produced, at least in Asia, are of some type of waifu type card, right? Even sets that aren't waifu sets at all, like that Soul Card Demon Slayer set, that's just a Demon Slayer set with Pokemon in it, even, and it has waifu cards in it. So it's like a thing that happens, right? But there's a whole other side to that you might not have ever encountered unless you've watched my channel before, which is the husbando side. So waifu is like a play on the word wife, right? And you're basically saying like, oh, that lady is my wife and I like her. It's basically the idea. But that works just as well for the male side of the world. And so we call those cards husbando cards because that's my husband. That's the person I like, right? And so in Asia, those kinds of cards are just as popular as waifu cards, which are just as popular as regular cards. And they're all kind of on the same level, right? Like nobody looks at one and says one's better than the other or anything like that, right? That's Western attitudes coming in that we need to be a little careful about. But we're going to look at some today. We're going to look at a couple, actually, two that I think are very interesting sets. So the first is a set I have actually looked at quite a few times before. This is easily one of my favorite Husbando sets just for how crazy it is. This is Gossip Night. It is a Dojin set, unlicensed. It's a multiverse anime set. There's lots of different characters in here, including characters from this one that we'll look at in a little bit. And what's really neat about this set is it includes kind of two types. It has a lot of different types of cards in it, but there's two that I think are especially interesting. The first are there's a rarity in here where what they've done is they've embossed the muscles on the characters. So if the character like has their shirt up and is showing their abs, the ab muscles will be embossed and you can feel them. It's just as wild as you think. The other one is cologne cards. So there's a whole series of scratch and sniff cards in here that smell like various types of cologne. So yeah, you get a full experience from this set. It's quite a thing, and and like I say, tastefully done, like really well done. In fact, the art on this set I think is phenomenal, like really good art. And there's one of the embossed cards. So you can see already where we're sort of focusing on the abdominal muscles there, and you can see the emboss work. Isn't that crazy? I love it. I just, ah, man, that must have been a weird day for that artist. Hey, Bob, I got a job for you today. I need you to outline all these muscles. Make a little emboss pattern for me. Well, you're a graphic designer. That's what you do. So it like I said, this is precisely and exactly what you would think it is. There's not really much hiding here, and it is exactly like a response to white waifu cards. It's the same exact thing. We just call them husbando cards. Another term you might hear is BL. That BL is a term that's used often for this type of product. That means boys love. So that's what that means, which is just another way to talk about this kind of product. That's going to come into play a lot more when we get into this one because whereas this right here is more of a multiverse sort of, all these different anime characters mixed together. This one is very much based on a specific comic that we're going to talk quite a lot about because uh, it's unique. It's unique. Very cool. All right. So let me go ahead and I'll just go ahead and leave the embossed cards and this very nice QR that we pulled out on the table, so we have those to kind of look at as we go through the rest. But these I'll move off the table, and then we'll talk about our sort of main event today, which is this guy right here. If you look at the title of my video, I called this video "It's Raining Merman," which uh, uh, if you know about this genre and you know that song, an amazingly appropriate song choice for this video, like on so many levels. Let me get some coffee. Yeah, it's still early for me. I'm doing cards and coffee yet. This set of trading cards is based on the manhua, which is a Chinese word for comic book, called the Falling Merman or the Falling Mermaids. You can translate it a lot of different ways. It's kind of a poetic title, so there's like a lot of things built into the words that they use. That's the Hanji for it there. Card Fun has the license for this set. This is a fully licensed series. Um, I'm holding one of the boxes. I'm not entirely sure which one this is, but I can tell you that there are at least 6 different fully licensed full releases for this series, like full box sets like this. Um, I've been trying to get this for a long time too. This is old, so this particular box is about a year old. They've made, like I said, many more before it and after it, based on this comic series. This comic series is incredibly popular. If you search for it on the internet, that those words there, the Falling Merman, that will find this comic, and it is readable online. In fact, you can go and read quite a bit of it online. There's translations available, and like really nice webcomic formats. Let's go ahead and check out the flyer for this set before we get too much into what the set actually is. Because I just kind of want to stress again, like, this isn't just the archivist being weird, although, look, I'm not going to deny it. The archivist is a weird person, but this is a legit category of cards, and I will die on this hill. Like, anyone who's comes to me and is like, dude, you're just showing off these weird, obscure cards nobody cares about, you're wrong. Like, these are major products that are sold. Like, this is a dedicated listing on AliExpress, not for Husbando cards generally, just for the Fall of the Merman. Like, just for this one manhwa's cards, all of these sets are merman cards, every single one, right? And there's little ones. This is a huge, like, this is a really big set here. uh, this one's completely sold out. If you can find a box of that, it's worth a lot of money. This one too is also can be worth quite a bit. But let's go through the flyer. So again, this is a card fun set. Kakao Card Fun, they kind of work together on it. Very pretty artwork. I'll go through the kind of the story of of the comic as I'm opening the cards, so I don't want to talk about it now. Although you can kind of get a sense of it here. There's 2 sort of main characters, kind of I mean, it all happens in a sort of supernatural sci-fi world where things like mermen exist. So you've got to take that for granted. Also, cat boys exist, so that's the whole thing too. But yeah, there's sort of this military commander who is a cat boy, and then there is a merman who is sort of was a military experiment for a long time. In fact, they both were experiments in their own ways, and so we'll talk about that. And that goes like the story of the comic. It is a romance between the 2 men for sure. But there's also like supernatural elements. There's fighting. There are these amazing battle scenes that happen. And there's also this undertone of like what it means to be used and experimented on, and that kind of thing is also sort of built into it. So the comic actually can be very dark and brooding in a lot of ways because it gets into some very deep themes. Now there are some chase cards like this one here. These are this XP level card. That's like the top card in the set. Very unlikely that we would pull that, but if we did, we'd be very happy. The SECs here, also very pretty cards. They look similar, but they're different. So that's the XP. That's the SEC, so they are slightly different cards. And then the SSPs here are the character cards, still very high tier. So those would also be like very good hits to pull. SPs also great pulls. Then the CPs, you get sort of a gold and a black version of each card. Then we're into normal hits, these URs here. There are a bunch of different kind of animal people. So this guy kind of got donkey ears. You can kind of see that. So there's different types of animal people in that universe. It's a I don't know, it's like acceptable there. We've got some sticker cards, which are kind of neat. Stickers at the TR level. These are going to be like PVC cards. The SSRs are sort of comic panels. Although these aren't taken directly from the comic, I think they're kind of edited, but they do look like what you will see in the art of the comic. The SRs, though, the comic doesn't always look like this. There's just these cutaway scenes where they use this cutesy style, but that's what they're focusing on in the SSRs. And then we have the set itself. So there's the full list of the set. That SR is the base level. There's the size of the cards. Interestingly, this box only has 16 packs. So most sets that we get have 18. This is a 16 pack set. 3 cards per pack, so 36 boxes in a case. And then we are still using a distribution system, so those SEC XP cards can only be in 7 of the 16 packs. So you're really only going to get 7 chances at those top hits. Okay, so that's the set. Let's get it unboxed, and we're going to open it all today because I'm just curious to see what the distribution is like, what we can see, and also I'll show you why in a second. But I hate storing these boxes, so I'm not going to keep this box around. This is a box design that Card Fun used last year, and they stopped using it, and I'll show you instantly kind of why. That's why. Like you can't pick this box up without it falling apart. It's because it's broken in the middle like that. And so if you pick it up, you're going to just take the top off. And I've knocked these over so many times as a result. All their Disney sets looked exactly the same. So yeah, we're going to open those all today. There's our box. Beautiful design. And again, like, you know, the comic, the art of the comic is amazing too. Like, these things don't become popular just by chance, right? They're popular because the story is good, the art is good, you know, the fighting scenes are good, right? Like the whole thing is a well-designed product, you know, even moving outside of its genre, which I think is important to think about. So here we got one of those PVCs right away. So the Falling Merman. Nice PVC card to start us off here. And then, oh my, okay, yeah, we got a kind of a glitter printed, like a nice thick card here. What is this card? I just looked at the flyer and I don't remember seeing this particular rarity. Oh, it's an IR. Okay. IR. So it's above QR, but still not a super high rarity, but a good one. And then our SR here is the base. And since I know that products like this are very like rarely collected in the West, maybe like never collected in the West is a better way to talk about it. If there is anybody out there who collects this set and wants any of the cards I've pulled today, just let me know. I'm more than happy to send you the cards to help you complete your collection, or if you just like a particular character or something. I'm otherwise not likely to keep these. So like I'm not going to make a binder of this or get the rest of the sets or anything like that. Here's one of those QR. I don't know what that is actually, but it definitely pops. It would pop out of that card and then become kind of a die cut, I guess. But I love his, his butt there. That's cute. So getting into the story a little bit, I don't want to spoil it or anything. I mean, there's not much to spoil really because so much happens. It's kind of like a ongoing series where like every week a new thing comes out. So a lot of things have happened. But the main storyline is basically that there's this army commander who was sort of grown in a lab to be the perfect soldier, that kind of a thing, right? And so he has all this trauma around being grown in a lab, right? He doesn't have a dad or a mom, and all this kind of stuff. And then he's been used as a weapon in war for a very long time, right? And then he meets, or actually ends up fighting against, but then meets a merman who is a type of creature that the army uses to fight. So they use mermen as like warriors and stuff, and they force them to fight, right? Like kind of like slaves. And so that is sort of the undertone that starts the whole thing, and then they meet and they fall in love, and it's kind of like a relationship that shouldn't be allowed, and then they have to figure it out, and all this stuff happens. If you've ever seen the movie Splash with Tom Hanks from the 80s, honestly, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, it's a very similar storyline. Like uh very similar in a lot of ways. It has all the same aspects. It has a merman who gets kind of taken away. There's army people trying to experiment on them. I guess the only difference is that that one is, you know, male female pair, but still it's very similar in a lot of ways. I like that we're getting so many of these IRs. They really do look very nice. They have a like a glitter print to them, so there's like glitter all over it. I didn't like that we got two copies of that same card, but it can happen. Yeah, and so you've got this relationship with these two people who have, you know, quite a bit of trauma from the battles that they fight, but also the way they were raised and made to fight, and things. They also come from very different worlds. You know, one lives in the water, one doesn't. So we got that going on. It's yeah, kind of an interesting story. I don't know if it's the most popular. I honestly don't. Uh, other than like the few things that I have learned about that have made it out of China, out of Asia, not much does. Like a lot of this stuff just kind of stays there. And so you won't learn a whole lot about it unless you're there. Very nice card. That is like super nice, isn't it? That's one of the CPs. Oh, a shark. But this one, the Falling Merman definitely gets noticed outside. You don't see it like mentioned often. Like even on Reddit, you don't see it too often. But wherever like Asian things are sold, you'll see this kind of stuff. You'll see a keychain for it or something like that. You know, even in a store here in the West, that can happen. Uh, Often, the person selling it won't even know what they have, right? They say, "Well, I just got this from my distributor. I don't really know what this is." It's pretty common, but that just happens. So in card fun fashion, this is like a very high quality set. Like everything is well designed, print quality is perfect. You've got some neat gimmicks, pretty good distribution, but it also has that kind of like almost reserved quality to it, where you sort of feel like they're holding back all the time. And I don't know, it's just kind of how I think about card fun is they don't seem to put too much into their main cards. That is gorgeous. So you couldn't tell from the image, but this blue foil around the edge is all etched in there. So that's not just printed on, that's etched into the background. That is really a cool look. And then this is like one of the higher tier cards in the set. It's not like the XP or anything, but it is. SSP was like below SEC, so it's like three from the top, I think. Yeah. And so I'm always curious to hear what people out there who maybe have never encountered a product like this before think of it. Like what is your initial reaction to learning that Husbando cards exist and that there's like a major series of them with like 6 or 7 uh, full releases? Like what is your reaction to that? I'm always curious to learn, because I think like a lot of people, at least if you pay attention at all to sort of the Asian card world, you know about waifu cards, right? Like if I go to a card show and I start showing off any of these cards, somebody asks me about waifu cards within a few minutes. Like it's just something that everyone kind of thinks about and knows about. But whenever they do, I show them husbando cards instead. I'm like, oh yeah, I got waifu cards, but check this out. You've never seen this. And they never have. Every single time they're just like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like what? And yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's strange to me that we're getting so many of these die cut cards. They seem to be much more common than you would think. And clearly these CP and SSP have been the hits of the box. The yuan. The US also quite nice cards. A lot of etching around the edges of that too. We're down to 3 more packs here. I had opened up this set called Link Click a few weeks ago, a month ago maybe. That was another manhua-based set from Card Fun. Not quite in the BL category, more in the just sort of general mystery category. But similar kind of thing, in artwork at least. There's the merman himself. They should make like, and this is going to be very strange, but they should make an anime based on this. A movie would be amazing. Like it would do so well. I think you could even make like a live action movie based on this, and it would be pretty wild. I think you'd need a big budget because the battle scenes and stuff would take a lot to film. But man, that would be, you know, one like a wild movie, but also like a very original movie. No one else is making films like that. Not gonna happen. I guess like maybe that Del Toro movie with the water. Oh, I forgot the name of that movie, but he made some movie about water. That movie might be kind of similar, sort of, in its weird ways, kind of. All right, there we go. There is uh, our look at. So I'm speechless. This is such a strange thing, and also I've been waiting a long time to do this. This is the Fallen Merman, the Falling Merman, the Falling Mermaid. There's so many ways to translate it. You'll see it translated many different ways. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed what you saw here today. Learned a little bit about the existence of Husbando cards, and that they are quite a large category actually, and that you, if you want them, you can get multiverse ones, you can get specific ones, you can get ones for your favorite comic, whatever you want. They're out there, licensed and not. We're also doing some cards and coffee here. But for now, I think I'll go ahead and end the video there. And yeah, I'll wish everyone a great week. And yeah, have a wonderful week, everybody. Bye bye.